Guys, welcome to our final week of the Adaptive Nutrition Seminar Series. Guys, we will not be meeting next week. You guys will be on your own. That being said, I am here. You guys can always contact me, either in person or via email, text machine, etc., for your questions. Because while the challenge is coming to a close, your pursuit of your nutritional goals is not. Because like we talked about last time, the timing of this thing continues on. However, the need for my oversight of you may or may not continue. And most people tend to do well kind of carrying things out into the future without me. So our schedule for the day is we're going to talk about your results thus far. I'd like to applaud a couple of you that are doing quite well. If you're not on track yet, don't despair. We will continue to try all the tools in our toolkit to try and get you there. We're going to talk about what week you're on of your cut. It may not be week 5, may not be week 6, etc. Talk about fluctuations a little bit. We'll talk about blood work and vitamin D, and then we'll talk about the fun stuff, after pictures, etc. So, first of all, who's experiencing results thus far? Fantastic. Talk to me a little bit about that. Let's just start right side of the room to the left. Grant, talk to me.
So I'm doing bulk 1, and I started about, I think, 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Or this is week 3, and I think so far I've just got about a pound.
Okay.
Increase.
Cool. So we were talking about the rate of addition of weight, and so you know your range for bulking is desired range is 0.3 to 0.7% of your body weight per week. Do you happen to know what that is?
I do.
Okay. Might be cool to do that math. You're rocking about 165 pounds?
161.
161? Cool. So bulk 2 might be an option for you.
Yeah.
To get you into that sweet spot range.
Okay.
What other results are you seeing?
A little bit more energy in the gym, and then not that drop in the afternoons with that third meal.
Good.
Keep my step even.
Excellent. Good. Yeah, I would. If I were you, I would be, got a hankering to test out that bulk 2.
Okay.
Up the calorie content just a little bit. Awesome. Sarah, you're next from the right of the room. What are you experiencing?
The main thing really is like the energy shifts and the performance shifts, but I've also seen drops in I've lost around 5 pounds. There's
Cool.
been a couple of flip-ups this past week, but I think cutting out some of the cheating sugar from Valentine's Day will help with that. But overall, I'm on a trend downwards. I'm getting a knack of preparing food and making this a lifestyle change, which I'm really excited about.
Excellent.
And then the trickiest thing for me is messing around with the fats and figuring out. Usually, I kind of mess it up in the day when to take stuff. So that's something I'm still nailing down and perfecting. But overall, I'm really happy with the energy and the performance.
Good.
Work, and that's meaningful to me.
Excellent. Yeah, those are very important data points. The energy and the performance pieces are big. Remember, we talked about there being many data points that we can judge our improvements on. Not all of them will always register progress, and people are like, my body weight's not moving. Okay, are there other things that are improving that may show us results except for that one data point? So yeah, that's cool. Lizzie, what are you seeing?
A lot what other people are saying. Energy throughout the day, my workouts feel a lot better. I've noticed I have lost some weight, and running's become easier. So things have become easier in the gym, which is awesome. And then this week was kind of my first week really facing some temptations, and because it's been a very quiet January, and I kind of glad that I messed up because I realized that meal wasn't worth cheating for, but this one was, and so that was kind of an interesting test. And,
Yeah.
I did notice a difference. After I had a bad meal, I felt it. And
Yeah.
So that was interesting to see.
Yeah. You're also down 10, 11 pounds?
10 pounds, like,
Fantastic. That's no small change. Kudos to you. Yeah, and if I may be so bold, you can actually see the changes. It's dramatic. You're doing really cool stuff. That's awesome. Zach, talk to me.
A lot of the same things, but I have increased energy and plateau in the middle of the day anymore. Workouts have been easier. Just feel like I can give more
Good.
than normal. The whole lifestyle change has helped a lot. I feel like just preparing these meals actually helps a lot, just in general. Even if I'm not on this program, I'm gonna keep doing it. Doing all those meal planning and prepping, and I just lost 12 pounds, 15 pounds. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's great, man. Yeah, I was kind of like, I saw you today, I was like, where's the rest of you? Heck, you leave.
I've seen a lot of definition too. Like when I take my shirt off, I feel good.
That's awesome.
Comments on it, so it makes you feel good too.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, that's great. You know, there's nothing that feels quite as good as walking around in a body that feels very authentic to you. And so that's being able to be proud of the body that you live in and day out, no matter what that body looks like, no matter what that body weighs. Being able to be like, this is me. This is awesome. Chris, talk to me.
Same stuff. Want more energy through the day.
Good.
Better. Don't feel completely destroyed after the gym.
Good.
As much as I used to.
So better recovery is a big one, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as brutal. So that's good. Clothes are looser, so that's nice. Not like I've really been. My body weight hasn't changed that much, but I don't really care that much. So, I've never really paid that much attention to body weight. It's more about how I feel and look, and I think I look better. So yeah, I don't know. All in all, feeling pretty good. I'm probably gonna stick with this, and I kind of took a while to find a cut that worked. But what I'm on now feels pretty good.
Yeah. So see if I'm tracking here. So I did a little bit of looking at it. It looks like your body weight dropped a little bit. It's been pretty steady, but you're telling me that your clothes are fitting looser.
Yeah.
So that recomp that we talked about, where you're adding muscle mass and losing body fat.
I mean, if that's what's happening, awesome. So that's totally what you want.
Yeah, that's the most likely scenario.
Yeah, which I hope is the truth.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel a lot better. I feel stronger too. Like, I just push press something that was my push group for a while. So,
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah.
So guys, just for those of you that know, you should be able to push jerk 30% more than you push press. So that's ridiculous. That's awesome, man.
Thanks.
Very cool.
It's been a good day.
Awesome. That's great. So that's good. So all of you guys are showing great results in different areas, and that's great because you guys all started in very different spots when you started the program, and so you're going to be coming from different areas to get to the results of a good human aesthetic, living in a healthy body, great performance, like feeling good in the gym, not just having more gas in the tank, lifting crazy amounts of weight, which is awesome, but also not feeling destroyed as you leave the gym. This is an interesting thing. Like when the coaches can see it. I can spot it immediately when somebody is not fueled appropriately, somebody that's not sleeping well, somebody that's got they just get whomped on by these workouts, and they just are basically dragging their sorry asses out of the gym afterwards, and it's miserable to watch because I feel for them. It's like, man, I don't want you to feel like that. Like, you shouldn't have to feel like that. Plus, you'll see something like the 7-minute AMRAP that we're doing. Man, they will have go for 3 minutes, and then smack, they hit that wall, and it's just like, boom, robot power down. And whereas if you're fueled appropriately, like you guys, you're feeling like that, like you're waiting for the wall, and you're like, it's not here yet. When is it going to happen? It's not here yet. And like, it'll keep getting pushed further and further out. So that's super cool stuff. Some things to take into account. So fluctuations when it comes to like the body weight log and stuff like that. Has anybody noticed the reflection in their behavior, both with food, with sleep, with stress, etc., being reflected in their body weight log? Good. Yeah. So that's good. And there's no it's not there to chastise you. It's not its role. It's there to inform you. And so if you, I've noticed that like when I eat Chipotle, the next day I'm a little heavier because that sodium kind of soaks up some water, and I'm a little bit heavier in water weight. And if I'm a little bit more conscientious about my food for the couple days after, it comes right off. Or we'll notice that like if you go out and have a few beers one evening, it's going to show up the next day, and some of that systemic inflammation makes some water weight stick around, and it kind of like you're like, well, and the graph comes back up. So being aware of that stuff. And if you're like, I'm having some fluctuations I don't understand, be patient and continue to be a little introspective. What is it? Is my stress level up? Increase in psychological stress can change your body weight dramatically as well. Food, lack of sleep will also change it as well. By the way, lack of sleep will also change how your body handles food. And so note that. Do stick to your plan. If you're like, man, I didn't sleep much last night, stick to your food plan. Your body's going to want carbohydrates. but stick to it. So know your fluctuations are happening for a reason. If you can't identify why all the time, that's okay. But it is a great kind of informative feedback loop, and be like, yeah, wow, that meal really messed me up. And like Lizzie said, like, yeah, that meal wasn't worth it. This other one, by the way, was totally worth it. You guys are all full-grown adults. You guys can eat anything you want. Know that. Like, you're totally in control. But weigh it. Is it going to be worth the effect on your goals or not so much? You guys can make that decision in an informed way now. Kind of some other stuff. I haven't talked to many of you about your blood work, so I'd love to do that. A couple of you have sent me your blood work, and that's awesome, and we reviewed it. Chris, we were still waiting on something, weren't we?
They didn't do my vitamin D, so I gotta get that.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back at some point and get it. I wasn't able to do it this past week.
Yeah, so I've looked at a lot of blood tests recently because I also review most of them that come in from the individual side as well. And I haven't seen a single athlete that has an appropriate vitamin D level. It has to do with the fact that we're inside a lot. It's winter time, so we're wearing a lot of clothing when we are outside. And so vitamin D levels are low, clinically low, which is bad. And so what I would recommend is if you're not taking vitamin D, you might just start popping about 10,000 IU a day. IU is the units of measurement that vitamin D comes in. 10,000 IU a day is 5 times the recommended dosage from the FDA. The recommended dosage got doubled from 1,000 to 2,000 IU recently, and that's still not enough to move the needle. And so if your doctor's like, take that 2,000 IU a day, they're following the FDA recommendations. But we've learned not to trust the FDA in a couple areas, and so this might be one of them. All the studies that have been done on vitamin D toxicity show that vitamin D toxicity happens at about 50,000 IU a day for months. And so as far as safety, I'm okay with safety on this one. Start taking 10,000 IU a day. Should you go get your blood drawn by a doctor? Yes, you should, to understand where that puts you on the range. But that should help most of you guys. It'll improve immune function. It'll improve metabolism, your ability to maintain lean mass. It'll improve your hormone cascade as well. It's lots of good stuff. So it's dirt cheap and it works. We recommend it. By the way, when summertime comes around, if you're out in the sun a lot, things change. The more fairer skin you are, the more efficiently you'll synthesize vitamin D from the sunlight, and so we should probably adjust our dose there. Again, a blood test would be appropriate, but perhaps just cutting it in half to 5,000 IU a day in the summertime would be a good kind of ballpark place to start. What's that?
So I went and got vitamin D, and it looked like there might have been different ones, like D3. Is there any difference between?
No, yeah, some of them are labeled a little bit differently, but yeah, it should all be the same. Yeah, just as long as you get like a reputable brand, getting low quality vitamin D isn't really a thing. It's not like a fish oil or like a protein powder where having bad stuff is rampant. Most vitamin D is typically good. And then the fun stuff. So guys, afterwards, a couple things that we need from you. Most of you guys are post-workout at this point, but we need an after challenge body comp in the office when you get time. Pre-workout, hopefully the same time of day as your initial test. That'd be awesome. So we can get an idea on body weight changes, body fat changes. Again, those are open to interpretation, especially based on hydration levels, which will skew that just a little bit for the bioimpedance testing. Also, take your after pictures. So go home, same outfit you wore last time would be cool, same lighting would be great, and try and get those as similar as you can. If you have some that you care to share, of course, if you're uncomfortable with that, I respect that. But if you would have those to share, we can share them in a couple of ways. We can share them with full information, show your face, tag you in it, tell everybody how friggin' awesome you are, and do all that. If you're like, I'm not really cool with that, we can also hide your face and not tag you in it. That's an option as well. But these types of things often inspire people to take part in a program that will give them a positive lifestyle change. And so it's you guys having walked the walk that have the power to influence other people. I can tell them all day, but somebody that's has done it and has gotten benefit out of it is the type of people that will be able to create that motivating atmosphere to draw somebody into it. Lizzie, I know you've been very open with me about your trepidation of doing something like this. It can be very scary and intimidating to step into something like this. And so if you have any specific thoughts that you'd like to share with the outside world in the form of like testimonial or even just some private feedback to us, we would love to hear either, positive or constructive, things that you loved, things that could be better. Obviously, we can't accommodate everybody, but we do want to continue to improve our program the best that we can. So any of that stuff, we'd love to hear from you guys on that. And then I just wanted to leave time at the end here to answer any questions, address concerns, make sure that you guys are set up to cruise out the remainder of your time on this cut or on this bulk. Hit your maintenance phase, make your results permanent, and then go forth and do more cool things.
Will we always do the same macro count, or how do we update that, or how do we change that, or?
Yeah, so that's a good question.
Control over that?
So we would, you do not get control over that. We get control over that, but we do, we will update it for you. And so if you've lost, say, more than, we'll call it 10 to 15 pounds, it's probably appropriate to update your biometrics after you're done with your maintenance phase. Let's not interrupt the process until the end of your maintenance phase, but if you continue to use the meal plan through the end of your maintenance phase, and you can just email us your new updated biometrics and we can update the back end for you.
Can we come in and use the scale for body comp afterwards? Or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Of course, yeah, at the discretion of the coaches. So give them a few minutes before class if you can, and know that they're not always free to do that stuff, but they should be generally willing and able to do the body comp stuff for you.